Friends, good afternoon. Welcome to my channel. My name's Justin. I play guitar on songs in Nashville. Today, I want to talk about modern country music. What is going on here? And to answer that, I thought we'd look at the charts. We'd look at the top 5 songs in country music. There's a perception outside of town that everything that's being made here is freaking terrible. And I get that, I really do. I understand that you want your country music to sound like country music has, and has a tradition and a legacy and a pedigree that comes from the classics, right? Well, country these days still has that. There's still a lot of that. There's also a lot of pulling from other genres, especially in the commercial world, where we're taking from pop, we're taking from R&B, we're taking from rock. There's so much going on, and to be honest, for a player, it's kind of fun. On one session, we can go from outlaw country to 90s throwback country to something super pop and ambient, and I've got to shift to more of a textures and emotive headspace, right? There could be sort of a Memphis-y thing or a Muscle Shoals type, like rootsy soul. And then, you know, there's even like 90s rock kind of making its way in, which is super cool. So I want to look at the top 5 songs on the country charts and just see, for a lot of you, is it really that bad? Is it really? I know that a large portion of my viewing audience is my age or even older and grew up on the same stuff I grew up on, like Zeppelin, AC/DC, Pink Floyd. So for people who like the kinds of things that I grew up on, is modern country music really that bad? Let's dig in here. I'm going to open my Apple Music app, number 5 on the country charts, and I'm using Country Mediabase. Mediabase is what we use in town to certify something as number 1, because Mediabase charts are literally only based on spins. I don't know how Billboard does things. Maybe it's the same sort of thing. So our first song, number 5 on the country charts, is Kenny Chesney, Take Her Home. Without hearing this, I bet that it's going to sound like something that you could imagine 80,000 people singing along to in a stadium, because those are the only shows that Kenny Chesney plays. And he can play 2 hours and still not play your favorite song of his. He's got that many hits. Like, it's crazy. Actually, a buddy of mine is a writer on this, and it's his first number 1, and I'm so happy for him. This is a big deal. All right, let's listen here.
Downtown looks like it's New Year's Eve. You find some bar you can halfway breathe. Touch tune, some old deep cut cheap trick. Got your girl singing every word of it. So you bring a couple shots of chilled Patron to the prettiest thing that you...
Okay, so it sounds like we're in G. First of all, right now it's really cool in Nashville to tune your guitar down a half step or even a whole step. So I've got my 335 for purposes of playing along here. Let me raise my chair a little bit. You can see more of the guitar. For purposes of playing along here with what we may encounter, I tuned my guitar down a whole step. So this is what it sounds like. Man, that's awesome. If you're light in the right hand, you don't get a ton of buzzing, a super loud buzzing. But you start digging in and you can hear it, right? So you might hear a little more buzzing on my guitar than you're used to. I like to think of, for every half step you tune down on a gauge of strings, it's like going one step down in the string gauges. So if you have a set of 10s and you tune to E flat with your 10s, it's like you're playing 9s. If you tune to D, it's like you're playing 8s. So I'm tuned to D and it's like I'm playing 8s. Like bends are super easy. Everything's a little loosey-goosey. When I try to do vibrato, it's like a little wider than I want it to be, you know? So let's find out what key we're in with. It sounds like it's G or maybe F sharp.
Downtown looks like it's New Year's Eve. You find some bar you can halfway breathe. Touch tune some more.
All right, so this is what's going on in this intro. I'm gonna capo, and this will be as if we're playing in G. It'll be as if we're playing open with a guitar that's tuned a half step down. So there's one acoustic, or it sounds like more than one acoustic, just going. You hear that buzz because I'm tuned down so much. And then there's another guitar going. There's something like that at the very end, very country move, you know, so the effect is. There it is. It's more eighth notes in the bass. And then it goes to the 4 chord when it starts doing the. Something like that. But let's get through the chorus and we'll move to the next song.
Deep cut, cheap trick. Got your girl singing every word of it, so you bring a couple shots of chilled Patron to the prettiest thing that you ever hit on. And somehow she ain't got a boyfriend, so you make her laugh all night and then take her home, fall in love, thank the good Lord up above that he sent one down into your arms and put a chain around your raised hell heart. You're trying to play it cool walking through the door, but you're smiling like a fool cause you can't wait for them down the road. Memories you're bound to make, and you will one day take her home. Gassed up truck sitting in the driveway. In the back there's a black and a pink suitcase.
All right, yeah, so that chorus, can you not imagine that being sung along to by 80,000 people in a stadium or 60,000 people? That's old Chesney for you. Been around a while. All right, number 4. Number 4 is Jelly Roll. Man, everybody loves Jelly Roll. His story is just crazy. And he is a sweetheart of a dude and has been through a lot. I think most of you guys who grew up on the kind of music that I grew up on, you would really be impressed at a Jelly Roll show. You would really like his concert. Here we go.
To save you, for he gave his only begotten son. Whoever believes in him will be saved. He shall not perish. You will not be saved.
I don't have perfect pitch, but this sounds like the key of D, maybe C sharp.
I'm a county jail revival. I'm a bottle in the Bible. I'm a Rolling Stone disciple with a cross across my face. I'm a trailer park tornado. Jagged edges on my halo. Hope the chariot gon' swing low and carry me away. This little light of mine damn near burned me alive. Lord knows that mama tried, and I don't know if I'm halfway or halfway to hell. My angels and demons at war with myself.
Yeah, the song's basically the same progression. So I would call this a 1, 5, flat 6, 4 in D. Remember, I'm tuned down a whole step, so when I play an open E chord shape, I'm actually in the key of D. Or, so 1, 5, flat 6, 4. Or if you want to think relative minor, which is probably what I would think when I was soloing, it's probably more, again, wide bends. It's probably more of that than than the major country pentatonic thing. Man, my bends are going to be all sorts of out of key here. You could also think of it as a 6 minor, 3 minor, 4, 2 minor, right? And what I'm not hearing in this is any thirds in the chords at all. It's just very bluesy, right? So there's a bit of a pull on the flat third on some of the notes, you know, that thing. It's not. It's that sort of in-between blues thing, you know? If I were charting this, I'd probably do key of D, 1-5, flat 6-4, and then I would just make a note at the top of the chart. No thirds. We're not playing D major. We're also not playing D minor, right? It's roots and fifths only. So anyway, if you're an older guy watching my channel and you get a chance to go see Jelly Roll live and you actually like live music and you have this perception of Nashville that everything's crap that's coming out of it, go to that show. Your mind will be blown. Pretty sure. All right, moving on.
This is where it.
So it sounds like, first of all, they're picking right by the bridge, they're playing a baritone. And that's sort of a like, note that's hanging out there. And then there's a couple notes on the baritone. You can hear it's that but an octave down. So here, I'll play along with it. Check this out.
This is what.
I think that was it. It goes back up to the 1 before it goes down. And then, and I'm playing these notes an octave higher because I don't have that string down here where they are an octave down, right? Very country. And, you know, if I were auditioning for this gig and this was the big single or this was just a song in the set, I would get every last bit of the inflection in that riff on the record under my fingers. From the slide into the second note, from that to whatever has a slight hammer-on or some kind of little slur into it, whether it's a hammer-on or a slide or both. All of that matters. Make it sound like you were the guy on the record if you want the gig. All right? Let's keep listening. Oh, there was a really cool... There was a thing like some harmonics in there too. Pretty cool.
Where it ends. I've been down a few broken roads that I'm trying to mend. But this is where it ends. And I'm breaking down. You were lying when you said that you were trying to work things out. But now I'm broken down. I went to battle for you always. Fought for you on your worst days. Then you told me that you don't love me no more. You're the last thing that I thought I'd lose. All I ever wanted was to be loved by you. I let you back in.
Okay, this is pop, right? And we get to a very familiar chord progression that we call the 41-56. So the song is 6 minor, 1, 5, back to 6 minor. And then when you get to the chorus, it's... I guess we can play the 4 chord down there. And he probably hangs on the 4 or the 5 chord the second time. It's a very common progression, and It's common because it serves a particularly hooky vocal melody in the chorus, right? That was the number 3 song, and that one was pretty pop, but it still wasn't like offensive, right? Number 2, Tyler Hubbard, Back Then, Right Now. I feel like this one's going to be more pop. Yeah, ultra pop. Sometimes in a track, the guitar isn't necessarily a harmonic instrument, it's more of a percussive instrument. And I would say that's the case in this opening part. That sounds like a Strat or something with single coils, compressed, very clean, and they're playing like dyads. And then there's another guitar happening. Let's keep listening. I have a feeling that this is going to be very pop and not much to some of your liking.
When that blacktop was just a gravel road, back when that Walmart was just a fishing hole, back when my old guitar had some brand new strings, yes it did. Back when a work truck was just a stick shift, back when you took a pick and didn't have to post it, back when a Baptist church is where we learned to sing, yeah we did. I could use some back then right now, 98 shit.
So that's a cool hook though, right? I could use some back then right now, like back when that Walmart was just a little fishing hole, you know, before so much of big box America took over the small town. Like a lot of people identify with that, you know. This might be some of the like new Nashville that a lot of you who grew up listening to Zeppelin, like some of my favorite records or performances are live Led Zeppelin where Jimmy Page is just not in tune. And no one's playing to a click, but it's just so human and so visceral and so real. And this feels so packaged, you know? I get it. But you also got to understand, like, that song is probably not aimed at guys our age. When a session goes from country to a song like that, I don't get mad. I get to play other things. I get to shift to a different focus of what the guitar's role is in the track, right? Let's listen to the number 1 song in the country, Jordan Davis. I would assume that this is also at least a little pop. He's a great singer, and we'll see. Let's just listen. Let's see what happens here. This is called Tucson, Too Late. Tucson's in the West. This might have that sort of Western country vibe, like top-down cruising a 2-lane highway, like Route 66, you know, in Arizona or something. That might be the vibe of this song. Let's listen.
I didn't know if
Boom. Aha. So that's a way of creating melodic movement while leaving the harmony the same, right? It's all just the A chord, or in this case, the G chord, right? I'm tuned down a whole steps. So whoever's playing this is probably, and I can't tell if it's something like that. It's a familiar thing. Let's keep listening.
we were over or just on the rise. Was me thinking I could save us, just a mirage. I was burning up a highway that kept getting longer. With every turn of these tires, she just kept getting goner. And the sky was showing no signs of rain. Ain't nothing delaying that plane.
To 4. desert,
drowning in
western
Chevrolet.
country.
And it's
Two minor.
747, somewhere between here and heaven knows I let her slip away.
One down to 6 minor.
Showed up and she's gone. Guess I got to Tucson too late. I wonder if she sat there stirring vodka with a straw. Was she counting down the seconds, or maybe having second thoughts and was moving all made up?
I love that three minor.
Would she changed it if she knew that I was racing through the desert?
So cool. Now second chorus kicks in. You hear like a ride cymbal and more drums. Second chorus is bigger, right? Songs. How long is this song? Ooh, this song 126 has elapsed and 127 is remaining. This is less than 3 minutes long. So that's what's happening right now. Like song lengths are contracting, and it's a function of attention spans and the fact that there's so much content out there. But it's also driven by streaming platforms. Like if a streaming platform, if your song is 6 minutes long, and that's going to make the platform and you the same amount of money as a 3-minute song, and they could make twice as much money with 2 3-minute songs as they can with your 6-minute song, the algorithm is not going to favor you, okay? These are things we got to think about now. We're trying to navigate an ever-changing technological landscape of how music is consumed, which dictates how it's made. And so, because the song is so much shorter, the first chorus is different than the second chorus. The first chorus is a little more open. We're not all the way in. Because then when second chorus hits, it's like, oh, okay, here we are. This is great, you know. There's just a different dynamic arc at play than when songs were 4 minutes long. Like, check it out. Let's here's the middle of verse 2.
Would she changed it if she knew that
End of verse 2. Here's the chorus.
was racing through the desert, thinking I could catch
Snare.
her, but losing ground in
And
this
there's-
Chevrolet. And it said
Baritone moves. That's not even a baritone. That's just a regular guitar, but it's all down in that register, right? Here's that chorus.
747, somewhere between here and heaven knows I let her slip away. I showed up and she's gone, guess I got
Yeah, there's some things layered in there. So, yeah, I got to Tucson too late.
to Tucson too late. Ooh. Now
So he's got a little bit of that R&B sensibility in his vocal as well, right? But yeah, this stuff isn't as offensive as I think a lot of critics make it out to be. Especially when you're older like me and music has never really been aimed at us, right? It's always been about the teenager or the early 20-something who's discovering music and is super excited, and it's a massive part of their lives. Music is still a big part of my life, but I'm a very different listener and consumer of it than I used to be when I was a teenager, you know? Like, I would just put records on for hours as a kid. And now, like, my best listening time is in my truck on my way to work. But I don't know. Like, we don't have to be mad at Nashville for putting stuff out that isn't necessarily aimed at us. But also, like Lori McKenna said, there's a lot of great stuff happening in this town. So, again, I think if you went to a Kenny Chesney or a Jelly Roll show, and you're an old rock and roll guy like me, like, you would have a good time. You would think it's pretty cool. Might be up past your bedtime, you know, but that's okay. You know, maybe we'll start making this a somewhat normal thing on the channel. I like discussing what's happening in this town, and maybe I'll start offering some charts too. Get you a link that you can sign up and get my charts. I got to get all that in order. I'm terrible at that stuff. So I will see you guys later. Have a really great day.